We're live in Pittsburgh, and I was about to say LA, with the Andy Russell Celebrity Golf Tournament, Total Education Network powered by Beach Lifestyle Media, and also Total Education with Neil. And my first ever Hall of Famer that I've interviewed, and I'm really excited to welcome to Pittsburgh, Tom Mack. Tom, how are you?
Well, thank you. I'm fine, and I'm pleased to be in Pittsburgh.
And what's kind of funny is, Tom, I had maybe a few drinks last night and wasn't thinking. I've had Pro Bowlers, but never a Hall of Famer, so it's awesome to have a conversation with you. But let's specifically, for our audience, tell how pretty much your story, how you broke in to get into the NFL, and where you came to be 11-time Pro Bowler.
Well, it's I guess a long story, but it's a good story. I was a kid who got to go to the University of Michigan, and I went to Michigan really to put myself through college and get an engineering degree, which I did do. Football was just the vehicle that kind of paid for school. I wasn't particularly a good player my first 2 years. Then they made me a tackle, and everything seemed to change. We won the Big Ten, we won the Rose Bowl, and suddenly people started saying, you're good enough, you could play pro ball. I was not an All-American. This is the last year. This is a long time ago. This 1965, actually, the fall of 1965. The AFL and the NFL were rival leagues at the time. Okay. They were still fighting with each other. The draft was actually the weekend of Thanksgiving instead of in April.
Oh, wow.
And they were trying to get, to go to one or the other. What happened, interestingly enough, is the Rams had the second pick in the entire draft, and they picked me as a first draft choice. They picked Mike Garrett, who was the Heisman Trophy winner that year, and from SC, as their second draft choice. I've got a great article at home from the LA Times the next morning. It says, Rams draft Mike, meaning Garrett, comma, guy named Mack. Then it goes, did who? Because nobody ever heard of me. And it ended up being a nice story. I had met a girl the year before when I played in the Rose Bowl from Pasadena. So going to the Rams was the perfect story for us. Ann and I have been married 47 years.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So it worked out pretty well. And I went to the Rams. The Rams actually were the last place team in the league. That's why they'd had the high draft choice. So George Allen came that year and as our new head coach, and we really kind of turned things around so that of the 13 years I played, all but one of them we had a winning season, and every year going into the last game we still had a chance to win it all.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was a pretty lucky experience that I went through with really good teams, and as you mentioned, I was lucky enough to get picked to 11 Pro Bowls. Interestingly enough, I missed my first year and I missed my 11th year.
Oh, wow.
Most people figure that once you get there, you either keep going or you don't.
Right.
And my 11th year was not a sterling year, so I guess I doubled down and got a little bit mad and got the last two.
So, oh, wow, interesting. And the experience of going to the Pro Bowl must be amazing as well.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people don't associate the Pro Bowl with a serious game, but back in the day, it was a pretty serious game. And no, I never went to Hawaii either. They played the Pro Bowl. They played it in Los Angeles a fair amount, but they also moved it around. We were down in San Diego. We played in Kansas City. We played in Dallas, Texas. We played in New Orleans. We played in Miami, Florida. We played in Tampa, Florida. They seemed to rotate it around so the fans could enjoy the game, and it was a little more serious then than it is now.
So people played really hard. They didn't care about the injuries?
Well, you weren't trying to hurt each other, but maybe that's a sad comment because honestly, when we played as hard as we played, you weren't really in the business of trying to hurt somebody else.
Right, exactly.
You were just in the business of trying to let them be sure they knew who you were and don't come around here again. But it's really it's softened up to the point where it's not much of a game anymore, I don't think.
So tell me the story of when you you knew you were first of all in the whole nomination process of being in the situation to being inducted in the Hall of Fame. Did you consider when you retired that you thought you were going to be a Hall of Famer?
I never. And the other interesting part is, interestingly enough, the Steelers, for example, when Terry Bradshaw retired, nobody said he was a Hall of Famer or a sure Hall of Famer. I mean, everybody assumed that they'd had great teams, but the press didn't go about proclaiming guys that have played 2, 3, 4 years as sure Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
As nonsense. Actually, I got nominated for the Hall a total of 13 times in 15 years and didn't get in. So I actually got in the last year that I was eligible as a modern day player. And I kind of cynically didn't figure I'd get in then either. So when I got in, it was really, for all of us, extremely rewarding and satisfying that I actually had played well enough that I was that good.
So tell me the story of when you knew you were going to be a Hall of Famer. What happened?
Well, my wife and I actually were getting ready to go down to the world's largest swap meet in Quartzsite, Arizona. And our son-in-law called us on the phone and said, "Tom, you made it finally." He'd seen the broadcast, and that was about 2 minutes before the Hall of Fame actually called me and said, "Congratulations, you made it."
Wow.
Now, the interesting part about that story is that week they set you up to go to Hawaii because they want to introduce you at halftime of the game. So they had sent me the plans. Here's the tickets, blah, 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 everything else. So I went to the airport with my wife. We had to go to L.A. and then to Hawaii. And I got to the counter and said the tickets, blah, 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 are in my name. And they said, "Yeah, we got a reservation in your name, but no ticket."
Oh, my.
So I got to pay for my own ticket to go to be introduced to the Hall of Fame. But fortunately, they reimbursed me, so it was a good deal. But obviously, I wasn't going to turn that down.
And do you have in your house like pictures of the whole event and all that stuff? What do they give you
What they give you that I do have in my house is a replica of the bust that they put in Canton.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and that whole process is fascinating because, one, you really get a real live sculptor artist who spends a lot of time trying to represent you as not as you are now, but as you played then. And he worked through a variety of different pictures, worked up a model, showed it to us, because my wife basically collaborated completely with that.
Exactly.
And what was interesting, most of the time that I played pro ball, I had a mustache. And the first cuts, they were trying to make it look like I looked as a rookie. And we finally convinced them we didn't want that look.
Okay.
We wanted the look of the second half of my career.
Right.
So the bust in Canton, I've got long, shaggy hair and a mustache, and it's how I looked in the 70s when everybody had long hair, not how I looked in the 60s when I kind of had a crew cut.
Gotcha. And so, do you have a spotlight on it? I joke with people that with the Grammy. The Grammy is I have Grammy award winners on, and I have other people, and I say Emmy award, and I says, when you walk in, do you have that spotlight in the room saying, "Here it is"? No, you know,
no spotlights.
So where is it at? Where is it in the house?
It's in a study that I use in the house, off to the side, and unless you're looking for it, you wouldn't see it. So it's. To me, it's as special as it can be. I have pictures, like a lot of people have pictures, but the pictures are me with different teammates and different friends in football, and that's, when it's all said and done, that's kind of what it's about, the friendships and the good times we had together and the fact that we got something accomplished.
Okay, so Tom, do you have a place to find information on you, or do we have to Google you, or do you have a website?
I guess you have to Google me.
You have to Google to find out information and things like that and everything. But I hope you do really well on the golf course tonight and have a great time meeting the guys and also with your alumni. And thanks for coming by.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It was an honor. Thanks.
Okay.
You're listening to the Total Education Network, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment and Total Education with Neil. We'll be back in just a moment.